Should I, 22M, tell my partner, 21F, that her love isn't enough and that I need her to join the real world? So my, 22 meters, partner, 21F, of 3 years used to be a bit of a hermit before we met, and she broke out of her shell as we got closer over the years. Being more open to intimacy, dates, talking about her feelings and generally getting out of the house a bit more. And I really appreciate the person she's become as she's turned out to be really funny and warm and responsible. But recently she's locked herself down again after her dog died back in the summer some 6 months ago, and she stopped going out with me, cancelled her plans to move out of her parents' house, and stopped going to job interviews or doing anything other than her classwork and calling me once a week, when she isn't doing classwork or using classwork as an excuse to not do anything. I'd be supportive of her taking her time and I don't mind much that she's refused intimacy. But it's been 6 months and she doesn't let me talk about it, she refuses to go to therapy, or to participate in the outside world, and she's becoming more and more distant with everyone. When I ask her to go out with me to try to get her mind off things, she says that I shouldn't try to change her and that our relationship, or going outside to do literally anything, is just not a priority and that she'll go out when the time feels right. It would be bearable if not for the fact that I feel like she's guilt-tripping me into supporting this behavior by saying that she loves me and appreciates me even if she doesn't feel the need to verbalize it or show it by going out with me, and that I'm needy for not being able to do that in return. Saying that she'd be supportive of me if I needed time and went minimal contact for months. I can't just sit here and support her becoming a hermit and using my patience and love as an excuse. I tried to help her get out of this emotional slump, but she isn't letting me in and she refuses all form of help or distractions from therapy to outings with friends and even shopping or dates. Plus by this point my own need for affection has been making me lose patience, so I no longer feel like I'm asking her the right questions or being helpful. I really don't want to break up with her, I just want to somehow show her how unhealthy it is to lock herself in your parents' house and ignore everything else around her, and that she has a partner she can rely on if she wants to feel better, instead of using me as an excuse to feel loved and accepted no matter how much of a shut-in she is. How could I talk to her about her being more attentive to our relationship and herself, despite her being in slump? TLDR, my, 22 meters, partner, 21F, fell in a slump and became a shut-in again and said our relationship or the outside world is no longer a priority. How do I get her to pay attention to our relationship, and most importantly herself? You got your answer. She said your relationship with her is not a priority. I don't think there is anything you can say or any advice you can get to change that. Communicating once a week and not going on dates and no intimacy is not much of a relationship anyway. What really are you holding on to? You can break up with her if your emotional needs are not being met. Calling once a week isn't a romantic relationship. Just let her go. She'll process this on her own time. She isn't interested in your support right now and doesn't have the emotional capacity to offer you anything either. I really don't want to break up with her. But what is actually keeping you together at this point? Is it the past you've shared? Do you think you could continue with things as they are, indefinitely? I just want to somehow show her how unhealthy it is to lock herself in your parents' house and ignore everything else around her. She knows. But she thinks she can just hit the pause button on this relationship and on the rest of her life, while she does whatever she's doing right now. The rest of her life, she can do what she wants. But it's not fair to you to expect you to just hang around in limbo waiting for the day when she's somehow going to be back to her old self. Because you could be waiting for years. What about your life? Wouldn't you prefer to just not be subjected to this? You said that she herself said the relationship isn't a priority. I think you should break it off. You've done what you could and more. The only things left would be maybe talking to her parents, but to me, that shows some emotional immaturity on her part if she listens to her parents but not you. You're 22. Go live your life. If she comes with you, great. If not, then you have your answer. I'm sure she's wonderful when she's feeling good. But it sounds like she's depressed, and as someone with experience, she's not going to get help unless she wants it. No one on the outside can change that. Painfully clear, I am not my fiancé's type and I don't know what to do about it. My fiancé, M29, and I, F25, have been together 5 years now. We are a multiracial couple, him being mixed as well as myself. I have known from the beginning that I was not the typical type of girl he dates. All his exes were the same race and build/look, I am the complete opposite. I won't lie, it did bother me at the time as I was struggling with an eating disorder in those college years. I eventually got help and overcame my illness and have been actively working on my self-esteem and body dysmorphia. I am now proudly 6 years free of my ed. He did help me get through that tough time. Now to the issue. We were sleeping in the other morning when he decided he wanted some morning action. I was half asleep, so suggested a lazy, cuddling while spooning session, his favorite. We started at it when he needed to go to the bathroom. Now, I am not a delusional prude, I know men are visual beings, I know he watches PN. I'm not stupid and I don't care. My only expectation is that viewing is kept discreet and private, the less I know about the details the better. PN is not something I partake in anymore myself as part of my recovery from my ed. I'm just personally mindful of what I consume, but I do not expect the same from others. Do not misjudge me, I am not against the viewing of PN. I don't think it makes you a bad person, sex is natural, he can do that, just keep it separate. So, he came back to the bed more excited than when he left, so I put 2 and 2 together. I didn't mind, I'm excited too, so we continue on with our session. At the end, once he finishes, I turn around to kiss him and his face is just glued to his phone. I ask him if he's been on it this whole time and he gets a shock that I was facing him and drops the phone. I pick it up and open it and Hess on some NSFW subreddit, he was having sex with me while looking at other women. In that moment the level of shame and disgust I felt was overwhelming, it really took me back to those dark days in college and my ed. Those days when I was always comparing myself to others. He's been silent since then, I won't let him touch me, even to hug. I feel so gross, like a toy, nothing better than a fleshlight. I didn't know he was on his phone while we were doing it. I feel used. And all the women he was watching while he was in me were all his type. It kinda breaks my heart. I'm mostly upset at the looking at PN while we're making love, but I won't lie that I'm also upset at the realization that I will never measure up or look even remotely similar to these women he would rather look at. I'm trying to go through all my cognitive behavioral therapy stuff, the processes, assure myself, but I can't seem to stem the hurt. Am I overreacting? I don't know how to make the pain stop. TLDR, my fiancé got caught looking at other women while having sexy time with me and am really upset and don't know what to do about it. I'm shocked honestly. Edit 2. Okay, this blew up more than I expected, thanks to everyone who took the time to read and comment. I appreciate all the thoughts, advice, prayers, love and anger felt on my behalf. There's so much going on right now I can't write about everything. First off, I had the discussion with him. He was too scared to bring it up and apologize and admitted to being a coward and admitted to a porn addiction, and then I got pretty pissed off and it all just came out. It went from disappointment to disgust to anger to disgust again and now indifference. Anyways, cut a long story short, I've called off the marriage, he's seeking help independently and I'm focusing on my business because it's Christmas and I'm busy and I got paying customers to care for. Also my grandma is over for the holidays, so I will be spending my time with my family and focusing on my work. I'm taking it one step at a time, but I gotta focus on myself right now and enjoy the better things in my life this December. I can handle the rest after my much needed Christmas holiday. Girl, you really buried the lead here. It doesn't matter what his type is, looking at porn while having sex with you is so not okay. What the fuck, that's so disrespectful. The fact that you're upset with yourself and trying to therapy your way into being okay with it means you're underreacting. Dude, this is completely on him, I'm shocked you're still with him. My eyes went, flushed face. Holy shit. No, you're not overreacting. I would confront him about watching porn literally behind your back while you guys are having sex. Ask him why he did that. TBH, if I were you I would be wicked pissed and disgusted. I would stay away from making any accusations concerning his type, e.g., something like you're only looking at porn because I'm not your type. In my opinion, centering the convo around the main issue, the porn watching, would probably be more productive. That being said, If you really want to know why he's looking at his type and you're not it, just ask him without accusing him of not finding you attractive. Is there a reason why you seem to need to look at these women to get off? I ask him if he's been on it this whole time and he gets a shock that I was facing him and drops the phone. What I'm reading from this is that he was so into what he was looking at and what he was feeling that he didn't even notice you'd turned around, which in a bed with two people is hard to do. It's perfectly okay to feel devastated by this, and I'm sorry this happened to you. He knows what he's done. He knows why you're upset. And please pay attention to this, right now, he's choosing to give you the silent treatment, instead of opening up the discussion that you both need to have. If this happened to me, I don't know that I'd be able to come back from it.